Part 38, Negative Thoughts. Listen to a fragment of the sayings from Spiritual Energies with the topic, Negative Thoughts, by Lubisha Stoyanovich, who transferred the sayings received in deep meditation to the book, The Culture of Energy Living. Under 1, Dissatisfaction. The first group includes negative thoughts that concern the person himself, dissatisfaction with oneself, the work one does, the relationship with the environment. All of them have a common characteristic, dissatisfaction. These negative thoughts are the mildest in terms of their intensity effects, since they are not directed against anyone else, but rather represent the transition between positive and negative thoughts. Their appearance itself speaks of the search for a solution, the search for new, more positive ways to resolve the status of that person. Because of this, in addition to the negative component, they also have a positive, creative component, and sometimes they can cross the borderline and become positive, creative, stimulating. Under 2, Struggle for Power. The second group consists of the struggle for power, which includes a whole range of negative emotions that serve that purpose. These include intolerance towards everyone who stands in that person's way, even towards those who do not help them in their endeavors, hatred towards those who represent the main obstacles on that path, especially towards the person who is at the top, in the place to which the person wants to arrive and replace her. Envy and jealousy are also directed towards that peak. At the same time, there is a constant fear that someone or something will thwart her in her quest to reach her desired goal. During the ascent, there are negative thoughts related to the potential possibilities that can be realized when one comes to power, starting with revenge, subjugating those below, taking away privileges or material goods from those who are lower, to bringing one's supporters, and if one finally comes to power, then comes the realization of all these negative potentials. In order to preserve power, various negative thoughts are realized, such as demotions, replacements, persecutions, punishments of those who threaten to dethrone it, not excluding individual and even mass murders. There is hatred towards everything that does not serve it, does not grovel, does not flatter. At the same time, the fear of the danger of being removed from power creeps into the bones of the person who is fighting for power. She cannot imagine her life without power. If, however, one day she loses it, and that usually happens, she never looks for reasons within herself, but puts all the blame on others, thereby creating an unbearable hatred towards all those who participated or could have participated in her overthrow. Then there is great sadness and suffering at the thought of the old government. These thoughts are extremely devastating, because they completely occupy the personality during a long series of years or almost the whole life. The third group consists of negative thoughts that include sadness and mourning for lost loved ones and nostalgia for the homeland. The harmfulness of these thoughts is extremely great. In addition to their high intensity, they permeate a person's soul and there is almost no time when they are not present. These people lose the will to live and work, they withdraw into themselves. It's true that time heals, but these negative thoughts last for a very long time. Many people, with very intense sadness and grief, do not live long after the onset of these negative thoughts. The fourth group is made up of thoughts that represent fear for existence, fear for life. These are the thoughts that occurred during various painful experiences, especially during torture, the strongest pain in the most serious diseases and the horrors experienced by severely mentally ill patients. This also includes fears that occur in babies during childbirth. If the birth is difficult and the baby's life is threatened, she perceives it as approaching death. These negative thoughts represent screams and cries, with the harmful intensity of which no other can be compared. They cause the most destructive effects in the aura, despite the fact that, as a rule, they do not last long, but their intensity is incomparably the strongest. The treasury of sacred knowledge is grateful for your interest and sends you a lot of spiritual patience and love.